And cool beans. Okay, so hello guys, how are you? I'm streaming on my YouTube channel. I know that it's late. It's like almost 3 o'clock. And I've had such a packed day. Like I've been driving, I've been working. Right now I'm uploading videos for some other things. But anyway, so I know it's really late, but I wanted to get this video up here on my YouTube channel. I am about 130 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I have a lot of you guys who are like coming from all over, and it's just awesome. So I wanted to do this video because I got a question, and let me pull up who asked. And again, like it's crazy where all these people are coming from. So Memoirs of a Good Thing asked me about 5 hours ago. She asked me to do a video, and I said I would. So she said, thank you so much for your videos. They've been super helpful. You mentioned using social influencers on a yearly contracted basis. Do you pay with free product, or do you pay monetarily on top of free product? Would you consider doing a video talking more about using social influencers and sponsorships for business? So that's what this video is. And let me, oh, I'm getting a whole bunch of like new comments. Cool. So anyway, so we're going to talk about this. So first of all, thank you so much for basically asking this question, Memoirs of a Good Thing. This is a question that I get a lot, especially for those of you who are in e-commerce, because it is something that you should definitely understand and know. So what I've done to help you guys is that with this video, if you're watching on YouTube, it should be in the comment section in like the description box. If you are watching on Facebook, then it is with the it's in the comment area. It's there. So I am here in my office, and it's like a little bit of a mess. I try to clean it up behind me so it's not as crazy, but it's been a crazy couple of days, so it's a little bit all over the place. There's one of my mannequins. I ordered a couple more, so I'm excited. So guys, hello. First of all, hello. I have Shaka Khan here is back, and we're here to talk about, of course, basically basics of working with influence for your business. So let me break down to you how it works, and no, this is not my real hair, so no. Okay, so anyway, let's get into basically how this works, terms you should know, what they mean, how it all works. So basically, because of this age that we're in, influencers are huge. They are a huge part of now marketing for pretty much every type of business. Every type of business actually uses influencers in some kind of way. Most of them do. Maybe not all, but many do. We're talking about corporations, Fortune 500 companies, to small business owners. And because, of course, when you are getting your business out there, you don't have enough self-strength in your business to do it on your own, right? So you don't know the whole world. So when you're working with influencers, basically you're using their audience that they've grown up, and this glare is really annoying me in my glasses. So basically you're using their influence to push your products. Now remember, you don't know the whole world. So the goal is to find influencers who fit, and we're going to be talking about this in a little bit, but your goal is to find influencers who fit your brand, but finding different kinds so that they're all not in the same space. And this is very essential. So there are two types of influencers. There are micro influencers, and then there's like what we call like influencers. And there is a difference. So micro influencers is a new term that has been basically used for, these are people they don't have, like, I'm a micro influencer, so I don't have like 100,000 followers. I currently have, I think, 12,000. I think I have 12.5. Let me check. I just want to know what my number is. And this is my Instagram platform. So every platform, and I'm going to break this down how it works, because for some of you guys, you really understand this. So I have 12.5. I have exactly, though, so I can know my exact number. I have 12,566, and I just gained 170 followers in the past 7 days. That needs to increase. I don't like how that's working. That needs to go up a little faster. But anyway, the point is that I'm technically a micro influencer. Micro influencers are those who have a smaller influence. So they're not like huge. I'm not going to say that, you're not huge because you don't have a ton of followers, but in influencer world, numbers matter. So this is not one of those things where you can use the excuse of, oh, I don't have a ton of followers, but I know a ton of people. Okay, but that does not make you an influencer. And let me quickly explain before we go into micro and influencers what this actually means. Influencer means that you influence people. And I meet a lot of people say, oh, I influence people. People look at what I wear, da, da, da. But this is about, do they buy after seeing what you're wearing, right? Like there's a difference. So just because you know people, and this is, I don't mean to be offensive to anyone. I just want to just tell the truth and be honest with you, especially in business. When people when they're paying you to be influencer, they're paying you because what they're saying is you have influence so that when people see a t-shirt that you're wearing, they buy it. Okay, so you cannot say that you're an influencer if you don't influence people to purchase. Just getting a whole bunch of likes and people commenting on the dress or t-shirt or whatever product it is that a company has sent you does not mean that people will buy it. Some people, they just like you, but they will not buy what you are purchasing or whatever. So you have to first understand as the business owner that before you even approach a micro influencer or influencer, you have to remember what an influencer actually is. And this will eliminate a lot of people who come up to you and say stuff like, oh, I would love to model your stuff. Like I get that all the time from Gigi Taught Me. We get emails on almost a daily basis from people who followed us on Instagram or saw us on Facebook or saw me promoting something and they DM me or email us and say, hey, I would love to model your product, or I would love to, share your product with, my community. But as a business owner, you have to remember, at least for me, that every single t-shirt, whether it is in stock here or whether it is in a warehouse somewhere, that's money. Like every t-shirt is money. Now, I know for some of you guys, you let your 9 to 5 make you so comfortable to where you just kind of give stuff away and you don't even think about how every single thing is money. Well, in Gigi world, okay, in Gigi land, every single product that I ever give out costs me money because it costs me money to make it. And when I sell it to you or I give it to you for free, I'm not receiving anything back. So it's very important that you first understand that an influencer is someone who influences people to purchase. And you should know this because, and I'm not saying you should know this. What I mean by that is you will know it by previous experiences, honestly. So let's talk about like how this works. So again, like I said before, a micro influencer is usually somebody who has a smaller network, but it's highly engaging. So we call those micro smaller. So they're called micro influencers. And remember, micro influencers are people who have smaller audiences, but they're highly engaging audiences. So at Gigi Taught Me, we actually have a mix of influencers. So right now we're building up our influencer platform, and I'm going to explain how that works and everything. So when you're in your business, especially if you're in a product-based business, not all service-based businesses use influencers. It really depends upon what kind of service you offer. Now, many services can be promoted with an influencer, but it just depends, right? So, so for us, we are a product-based business. So we promote our t-shirts. We have all sorts of products, not just t-shirts. We have mugs, we have journals, we have a whole bunch of stuff. And so what we do is the first thing that we did before we even reached out to any micro influencer who was a smaller network, but highly engaging, or an influencer, which is like someone who has hundreds of thousands of followers, like these, they have a vast network, right? We first have to figure out who we are for. Now, you should already know this in your business plan. In your business plan, you should already know who you're meant to target. In other words, where's your target audience? And you find your influencers, and I picked out a few places to look, but your influencers are based upon, again, who you are meant for. Because just because someone has a ton of followers does not make them shouting you out worth it. And the reason why is because, okay, give a perfect example. So let's say, we sell a lot of Christian-based t-shirts, right? So a lot of our phrases have like, Christian phrases in it. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do. So it would be kind of weird if like, I had an influencer promote our t-shirts and like, they don't believe in God. Now, I'm not saying that, them not believing in God, I mean, that's their choice, that's what they do, but it would not fit our business model. Same thing as if I was an atheist and I said I was gonna promote a whole bunch of Christian t-shirts, it just wouldn't fit who I am, and I also probably would not be. It wouldn't be the best relationship. So what I'm saying is, what you want to do is you want to look at your products, you want to know your audience, and then you want to first figure out, okay, based upon where my audience is, where they exist on the online platforms. Okay, who do they like? Who do they follow? Who would they listen to? And that's where you start looking for influencers. Now, I've identified 4 places to start. For us, it's actually, these are the 4 that we use. I haven't used anything else besides this, because sometimes influencers actually reach out to us. We actually had one reach out to us from YouTube. She's a micro influencer, but she has a highly engaging, like it's crazy. But people love her and we love her because she's going to do amazing. So anyway, so you have your micro influencers. That's the first place to look. Micro influencers, you can find them on Instagram yourself, because remember, these are people who they probably have, I would say, maybe 20,000 and below followers, right? I would really say a micro almost is kind of, I would say maybe 20 or 15 below, right? So I'm a micro influencer. I would consider myself a micro influencer. And remember, you can find these on Instagram, YouTube, basically wherever you want your product to be exposed, then those are the channels you need to find. So it was Pinterest, YouTube, Snapchat, whatever, different platforms. You want to see, okay, who are people following? Now, they need to have enough followers though, to where when they promote your product, it's worth it, right? So like if they have 500 followers and like it's not engaging, it's not worth it. So you want to make sure that the influencers that you're working with, remember that they're highly engaging. Engagement matters. So here's the thing. When you're looking for influencers, let's talk about what you should be looking for, because not all things are as they appear. Okay. So when you are on someone's platform, you don't just want to see the amount of comments, you actually want to look at the comments, because you want to make sure that these aren't fake comments, right? Like, have you ever seen someone and they had like all these like fake comments, like hello, sparkle, shine, like it made no sense? Those are bot comments. So someone could honestly, in today's age, you can actually pay for comments, but the comments aren't real, right? Like you'll notice how, like, for instance, today I put up a really engaging post. Shout out to Yoshiko. I reposted it. And it got, I reached 1,860 people, 47 comments, 6 saves, 241 likes, right? So again, but these are real people who were commenting. It wasn't like these were fake people commenting. It was real people. So you want to make sure that there's real people. You also want to look at the ratio, and that's really important. So let's talk about ratio. So technically my minimum is 10%, and I'll explain what that means. So basically what that means is, you want to look at the amount of followers that they have, and then you want to look at the percentage of that is basically like their comments or their likes. Some stuff is weird, because I have seen people who claim that, I'm popping on social media, and I'm like, I'm not judging. I'm just saying, for business purposes, I have to judge because I'm sending you free products or I'm paying you to promote. So I have to look at things. So like if you have like 20,000 followers, but you're only having 10 likes, 20 likes, something's wrong. And I've seen a lot of people like that. So, I start like side-eyeing people, and I'll be honest, I side people, whether you're an influencer or not, I'm looking at like, something's wrong with your Instagram, or something's wrong with your YouTube channel where you have all these followers. And that's the reason why, Instagram, Facebook, they're starting to do a lot of cleanup, which I like. I like it because it allows me to, these people who are having these weird accounts. So it should be a 10% ratio. So like, for instance, I have 12,500 followers, and usually I get around between 100 to 200, sometimes 300, sometimes 400, depends on what the content is. And, but there's always a minimum of usually about 10%, and that's my rule. So if you have 10,000 followers, you should be getting a minimum of 100 likes. So for me, that 10% is really important. And again, there are people who have even higher engaging posts. So like, for instance, I know I have friends who have like 5,000 followers, but they get like 500 to 1,000 likes, and these are real people. And so it just depends upon, how people connect with you, right? But the point is this: look for engagement. That is so important. And then, of course, too, here's the other thing. When you're looking for influencers, you need to see if they've ever done other types of influencer posts, because you need to kind of see what have they done in the past and what were the results. Because here is the very important thing. Now, not only should you find people who fit your target audience, but I have seen things in the past where people will buy from them But when they put your stuff on, they're not buying. Like, they're like, who is this? Like, what is this? What is this brand? I'm sorry. What is this? Now, it all depends, of course, on how the influencer, we'll talk about that, about, how do you send them pitches and all that kind of stuff. But the point remains is try to see if they've done any kind of influencer posts in the past and what were the engagement rates like. I've seen some kind of weird stuff where, like, someone will have all this engagement and then they promote and it's like crickets. And that scares me. And I actually don't usually work with people like that, where you kind of see like, engagement, then they promote a random brand and it's like crickets, because that kind of shows that their audience is not really like engaging with other brands. And that's kind of, for me, that's not really good. So we don't do that. Okay. So what I do look for though, is when I see influencers who are promoting, whether they're micro, smaller, influencers are major, if I see that they're, promoting other brands, and I see that there's like people like, oh, I like that t-shirt. Oh, I like this. Oh, girl, that's cute. I'm like, okay, cool. So their audience is actually used to promotion of other brands. That is important for me. So let's go over this. So we talked about micro influencers. Now, FameBit is another platform that we've worked with. I love them. I can't get enough of FameBit. I'm addicted to FameBit. So FameBit is a platform where businesses and influencers meet. Basically, instead of you going on this hunt for like a whole bunch of influencers, basically you put a campaign on FameBit.com, you make an account, and basically influencers will pitch themselves to you. So you have to create your campaign, you have to put in your information, put what you're looking for, what platforms you want your product to be exposed. Now you do them campaign at a time. So it's not like you post like, oh, I want everyone just to promote our brand. No, you have to create a campaign. So like, okay, we would like to promote, for instance, like the Grind and Grace t-shirts. We would like to do a campaign, and we're looking for an influencer who will help us promote. You write in there what you're looking for. And what I really like is they pitch to you, and you can scroll through. You're able to look at their profiles. You're able to see, their numbers. And I like it because it's made for business owners who are looking for influencers. And, you can categorize like, what industry, what you're looking for, all that good stuff, and you're able to see it. I like that. Now, the thing I really like about FameBit is they hold your money until the influencer has delivered on the agreed campaign. So basically they hold the money in escrow. And I really like that because, when you're doing contracts and things with influencers, you need to make sure that they're upholding their end of the deal, because you're basically saying, I need you to influence. I'm paying you to influence. I'm giving you product. I'm giving you something for you to influence. And so what I like is they have to deliver. You basically let them know what you're looking for. And once FameBit, again, all the stuff is I've already put it in this. If you're watching Facebook or Instagram, it's already in the description box. So if you're on Facebook, I've already put it in the description with this video. And if you're on YouTube, it's in the description box. So I've already named out everything I'm going to be talking about tonight. So again, this is when you work with influencers, you can use FameBit. FameBit, again, is a platform where it connects businesses with influencers. These are, again, there are vast influencers. And you can also put how much you're willing to spend on the campaign. Yes, so FameBit, you're talking about money. Now, micro influencers, and let me break some things. So I'm going too fast. So FameBit, you pay. So you have to put in how much money you're willing to spend on the campaign. Usually you can get influencers between 50 to like thousands. It depends upon how much you're trying to put in for this campaign. Now, remember, you will in FameBit, you will be pitched by people who have nothing to do with your brand. In other words, like these people, they do not fit your brand. But guess what? They're pitching. They're happy. Like, look, I'll do it. And it's like, wait, you don't even relate. You eat meat, and I'm promoting a vegan product, right? It's like you. And so when you're looking at all the campaign offers coming back from influencers, go to their profile, look at their stuff. I had my team when we were picking some of their FameBit, I told them, said, look, y'all go through these profiles and figure out who we need, who's going to work, who's not going to work. And then what we do too is we actually, like, if we get their YouTube information or Instagram, we actually save it for ourselves personally. So like we have a spreadsheet in Google Docs that we actually in Google Drive, Google Sheets, that we save so that in the future, if we want to reach back out to them, but maybe not through FameBit, maybe through something else, then we actually save their information. But I do like how FameBit holds your money until your product is delivered. That's good. Okay, number 3, search on social media platforms. I kind of talked about this before, but you can always reach out to influencers. Most influencers usually have a business email in their profile. Most of them do, because they're influencers, and so this is how they make a lot of their money. So a lot of times you'll see like where it'll say business email, and so you can reach out to them. Do not, okay, this is important. Micro influencers you can DM, but usually like major influencers, they get so many DMs. It is not wise to DM them. It's better to send an email. It's really better to send an email because they get so many DMs. Now, if they're the kind of influencer that says, oh, shoot me a DM, shoot them a DM. But always, as I say, always shoot them an email as well, because you want to make sure that you're not waiting forever to hear back from them. Okay, so micro influencers, again, micro influencers like 20,000 followers and below. YouTube, we're going to talk about some platforms. So micro influencers, FameBit, search on social media platforms, and then Facebook groups. Facebook groups are really great to actually ask questions about where maybe other types of companies got basically contacted their influencers. Now, also too, depending upon the Facebook groups, there may be also influencers in the group. So like, let's say for instance, you have a makeup brand. Well, it would probably be smart to go into some makeup groups and see if there are any like well-known, makeup artists who are in that group who will basically promote your product. Again, you always have to check numbers. You have to ask them, hey, great, we would love to, but send us your link so we can look at what you have. And don't be shy to ask people, to send you their stuff. No, because you're about to send them either free product, but remember, free product is still money. So when you say something like, well, I don't want to, pay for them. Well, technically you're still paying because you're sending them product, and product is money, period. So you send them money regardless. Okay. So like I said before, so we have micro influencers, FameBit, search on social media platforms, Facebook groups. Now let's talk about the platforms, because every platform is different. So Instagram is where the micro influencer is like 20,000 below. YouTube's a little different, because what I love about YouTube, and I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I'm a huge fan of YouTube. YouTube for me has been amazing in so many ways. God has blessed. Anyway, but YouTube is really great because YouTube's engagement, it's funny on how people love video. They love video. And on YouTube, the engagement rate is so much higher. Perfect example is I only have 1,800, I think, in like 30, I think, or 70. I think it's 70. I think it's 1,070. So I have 1,871 YouTube subscribers. Okay, YouTube subscribers, but yet I'm getting views and people, commenting, things like that almost on a daily basis. The engagement rate on YouTube is extremely high, and it's a different type of engagement. I really want to define this to you on why that is, because on YouTube people actually become subscribers, and subscribers, in my opinion, are almost stronger than a YouTube follower. And the reason why is because people end up having like favorite channels that they actually come back to and watch and digest, and they'll watch and watch and watch. It's not like Instagram or Facebook. It's a little different. On Facebook and Instagram, you see a picture, great, double tap, read, bye. But YouTube, they're being engaged for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. I have videos on here that are almost an hour, and people, they're watching it like these are daggone free webinars. And people email me like, Genesis, I got a bowl of ice cream and some fruit, and I tore my stuff up, and I was taking notes while I was watching you teach, or watching you, break down this concept to me for my business. And people are serious. Like my video I did on how to start a t-shirt mug business, it has over like 20,000 something views, and people go back to that video and watch it and watch it and watch it. So YouTube is a great place to find influencers, but again, when you see a number like they only have maybe 5,000 subscribers or 10,000, don't consider them like, oh, they're small time. Look at the engagement. I'm telling you, we have micro influencers that we have just acquired for Gigi Taught Me. They only have maybe 6,000 followers, 6,000 subscribers, but they have hundreds of comments on all their videos. So again, look at the engagement, figure out, okay, this will be a good influencer for our business. We feel like this person will be a great promoter of our business. Now, So again, like different platforms are different. Facebook is another platform. Now a lot of times you'll see where people will promote via their page, right? Or they may have a personal one. I'm kind of leery, honestly, about Facebook because just because of all the changes in the algorithms happening with Facebook and even Instagram, you really got to make sure that person really has had success in the past. In my opinion, when I'm working with influencers, especially on Facebook, I have to see how did your previous Facebook post go, because remember all these changes to this algorithm. I mean, they change like all the time. So it's not as if there's a change that has never happened before. There's always new changes. But the point is that if that person's not experienced in selling a product that's not theirs, you really need to see, like, are they good at this? Okay. And if they're not, you got to keep it trucking. Same thing for Twitter or any other platform. For me, when it comes to selling a product, my favorite platforms are going to be YouTube and Instagram, honestly. And then if it's Facebook, it's usually like a micro influencer, and they're usually pushing this through their profile. And of course, we always ask for links and all that kind of stuff so that we have proof of promotion. Now let's talk about the money question, because of course, she asked me, do you offer free product? Do you offer paid product? Do you pay them? How does it work? FameBit is where we offer paid. That's the only platform we use for paid. Of course, for our micro influencers, we send them free product, but we do not pay them. And the reason why is because a lot of times we're trying to establish that relationship. The other thing too is, we want to see first, before we pay you, how do you do with free product? Because if you can't push free product, then we're not going to pay you on top of sending you this free product, right? So what we do is we use an online contract. And for our micro influencers, we usually do a 3, 6, or 12-month contract. We have 2 that are 12-month contracts. So they're on contract for 12 months, for a whole year. And we send them gear every 2 to 3 months. So they either get some t-shirts or whatever every 2 to 3 months. And basically what they have to do is when they get that gear, they have to rock it, and they have to show proof of them, of course, promoting the clothing. And if we do not see them promoting, when we send them that gear, then we can cut off the contract and say, hey, you rocked with us for 6 months, but we didn't really see anything. And for us, that's the reason why with micro influencers, we take a chance, but it's better for me to send a t-shirt than for me to send you like $200 and you're not really doing anything, right? So again, that's what we do. We use JotForm. I put the name up there, but we use JotForm as our contract maker. I like them because you can make really quick online contracts, and they also have an online signature module you can add so they can sign their contracts. You can also use platforms like HelloSign. I've been using JotForm for years. JotForm will never do me wrong. Well, they actually did. They just made some changes to their online plans that kind of messed me up. But still, God is good. So I use, of course, JotForm for our influencer contracts. These are our micro influencer. Money is FameBit, because with FameBit, I like the fact that they hold the money in escrow until they've completed their campaign. So JotForm is what we use for our micro influencers. Remember, micro fit like 20,000 and under. Okay, so we use again JotForm. Now let me go over some like last minute things. I'm gonna let y'all go because I'm tired. I got church at 9 a.m. It is 3:26. A girl is tired. I'm tired, exhausted. But I love you guys. I'm gonna make sure I do these videos so when I have time, which is like 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to get this stuff done and I can go to sleep. So the thing about influencing, right, is that you have to really understand your business model, because you don't just randomly do influencer campaigns. They should be done when you have releases. So, or you're working on some main products to be sold. You don't just like give the influencer a random product. You want to make sure it's a product that you're trying to like sell. So I either suggest it being a product that you're trying to liquidate, or product like is not moving or selling, and you need to get that inventory out your house, out your office, or it needs to be something that you're doing that's new. So like, for instance, when we offered our Grind and Grace t-shirts, when they first came out, that has been a big thing for us. We still have some inventory left. So we're going to be doing some influencer campaigns to get rid of some extra gear that's sitting behind me. And so, you definitely want to have an idea of like, before you go to an influencer, know ahead of time, okay, what product are we trying to push? How many units are we trying to push? What is that dollar amount? Like, that's very important to know, so that when you're looking at, your business calendar, which I talk about, especially in e-commerce, especially in the retail world, you got to know your full 12-month plan. Like, okay, this is coming out, so that means that we're going to need influencers to promote this. One of the things that you'll realize on YouTube, especially, and even Instagram, is that when businesses are coming out with new products, especially the makeup world, the beauty world, you'll notice that when they release a new palette or new brushes or whatever, influencers are getting that stuff to, guess what, to push it all out, so that, again, that those products are basically being sold. What I've seen, I remember when Fenty Beauty, Rihanna's brand, what they did was before they had released stuff, they were already, like, to the public, they were already contacting influencers and sending them, like, basically these, like, PR boxes for them to show to their followers, so that when it came time to sell that product, people were already like, oh my gosh, I'm getting this shade of Fenty Beauty, I'm getting this foundation or this concealer or this whatever it may be. So when you are working on your new, like, releases of services or brands or products, you should be thinking about, okay, what are we going to send our influencers? So, and then you have to have that, like, that list. And it's very important too that you have a PR list, right? Because technically an influencer sits under that PR list, technically. So if you look at the tips that I provided with this video, I gave you guys 5 tips to kind of really, like, stay focused with this. The first one is provide custom promo codes to see results. So when you're working with any influencer, when they are promoting your product to their audience, give them a custom promo code. So, like, okay, if you say, okay, and this is very important too, when I'm working with influencers, you want to pitch them something for their audience. So whether it's like 10% off, 15% off, get $5 off, you do need to give some kind of incentive. Just giving an influencer a product and you are a small base business, you have no traction. And that's just I don't have any traction for us to, work with an influencer and say, oh, just promote this product. Their audience does not know who we are. It's different if, for instance, when major brands work with influencers, they don't have to provide discount codes. Or if they do, maybe they do, but they have the margins to do something big and people are aware of that brand. But if you are our brand that's not well known, it's not smart to not send a promo code, because nobody knows who you are and they want to get a discount, and free or some kind of discount always attracts new clients or new customers. So what I suggest is you need to give your influencer, like, use it could be their name. It could be, use this code Muffy20 and you're going to get, $20, sorry, $20 off, but it could be 20 if it's a high-end product, but you can get 20% off, your order, right? The reason why you want to use a custom code is you need to see how many people actually respond to that piece of content, to that video, because you got to have a way of tracking an influencer's influence, right? Because, technically people say, oh, well, it's going to be sales. Well, how many of those sales came from that particular influencer, though? And especially when you're using multiple influencers at one time, we're gearing up for, especially for the springtime, and we're going to be working with several influencers. So I want to know, okay, how many sales came from this influencer? How many sales came from that influencer? You can also use a link such as bit.ly, bit.ly, and it provides tracking for those links. This is actually for anything you ever want to do. So what we'll do is, like, let's say we provide a special tracking on, like, give a perfect example. Let's say we want to see, because technically, your website, hopefully if you have Google Analytics and other, mapping tools, it will actually show you, like, how people are reacting to your site. But I also like to know how many people are coming from an influencer's video to our site, right? So what we do is, one thing that we're doing for this upcoming season is we're providing bit.ly links to our store, right? We're also providing a custom promo code so that we can see, okay, first of all, how are people interacting or how many clicks did we get even from that link? And then of course at the checkout, we'll be able to see how many people bought product with a particular, discount code. And we'll say, okay, so that was this person's code. They brought us, 30 new customers or whatever, right? Okay, number 3 is work with influencers or provide pre-made captions. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm doing this video. Guys, do not Do not let an influencer just freeball your captions and you don't even know what they're going to post. I'm going to tell you why. Because it could be a train wreck and it could be hell, and you don't want that. So what you want to do is you want to work with the influencer. Before they post something, you should know what they're posting. Yeah. So before they post the photos or whatever, they need to send you those photos so that you can tell them, that's not going to work. Yep, that'll work. Because why? Because they're about to promote your brand to their audience. And if those photos do not really fit what you're about, or maybe they came out crappy, you don't want them. Now, of course, you may say, oh, well, they would never do that to me. I'm not saying that they wouldn't. I'm just saying you want to make sure that when you're working with influencers, there's a very healthy relationship of understanding, okay, what is the caption going to say? Okay. Now, what you can do is send them pre-made captions. I believe Kim Kardashian one time had a little hiccup where she posted she had left a part of what the company had sent her, like, post this here, whatever. And her caption actually said, post this here. So you can tell she had, copied and pasted from the company. But it's really great, though, to send some kind of pre-written script that you send to your influencers that they can either tweak to their audience's liking, or, they can kind of work with you to make a caption that works for their brand. You want to make sure, of course, that the tone fits their audience. So that's why I said leave some room in the caption for the influencer, because the influencer knows her or his, his tribe or his following. And so, if they want to kind of spice it up or add some jargon or some sayings that kind of would fit their audience, then let them do so. But again, make sure that you're always seeing a preview of what will be posted. Okay. Now, number 4, almost done. I'm getting tired. Number 4, keep influencers or public relations in a spreadsheet or a CRM platform for easy organization and contact. So as your business builds, your PR list should be building as well. Now, your PR lists are everything from your public relations team, if you have one, or just PR companies, newspapers, online platforms, and influencers, bloggers. You want to have a full list of people that you're making relationships with. This is essential in business, especially in e-commerce. Because a lot of times when you think about e-commerce, you're just thinking, oh, well, let me just sell some products online. No, you have to establish relationships with basically people who have the ear to your audience, right? So you can have a list of influencers that maybe, like, when you're releasing a new product, you say, hey, we have a new product coming. Let us know if you would like to, be a part of this campaign. And of course, if you have money in your budget to pay them, then I would go through FameBit, find some people to help you with the campaign. But of course, to them, reach out to them, email them and say, hey, we have this product coming. We would love for you to preview it and do a video or do a post on your Instagram or YouTube, or maybe both, or Facebook, whatever. It could be as many platforms, but have those channels open. So what I suggest is you could use Google Spreadsheets or Google Sheets, or you can use a CRM platform like Basecamp, or my favorite is HubSpot. I love HubSpot marketing. And they have a HubSpot CRM that's completely free, and basically it keeps track of all your contacts for your business, and basically on how it's going. Now, a lot of times they use it really for like the sales industry, but I like HubSpot CRM. It's amazing. Zoho has a CRM. Basecamp is good. Or just a Google sheet. Make sure just keep it, okay, like their name, email address, phone number if you have it, their platforms. So if they're an influencer, you should probably have a separate section in that Google sheet that says like influencers, and then it has like, their name, email address, platforms, number of followers, you could say average engagement or whatever. That's very important. And the other thing too, let me just point this out, is that if you have, and hopefully now here's the thing, if your Instagram or Facebook accounts are not, especially your Instagram, if they're not business accounts, you make sure that they are, because you need to be able to get insights on, what happens to your account after people shout you out and mention your platform. Now, there is something I definitely want to mention about content. So there is a section when you have a business account, there's a section in here that if you go on your options tab, which is like the little cog wheel next to edit profile, there is a section called branded content approvals. It's under business settings. And basically, this is where when someone approves you, it's called business partner tagging. Basically, when someone else tags tags you in content, they basically have to get an approval to tag. Now that's really optional, but it is something to think about. The other thing too that I want to talk about is, let me pull this up. Where is it? I had it. Oh, okay, this one's gonna do. So you have to establish how the posts actually work. So on YouTube, of course, it's a video, but on Instagram, it's a photo, and you definitely want to like make sure that you're getting the maximum effect for each post, especially when it comes to photos. Okay. Now there are some influencers that do things like a lot of these, like I call them Instagram businesses because they're kind of it's whatever. Anyway, they do shout outs, and excuse me, you can pay a company for a shout out that may last maybe 24, 48 hours. Now, I'm not gonna say they're not bad because I've actually seen them work. All I'm saying is they're not permanent sitting exposure, right? So like, in other words, they'll post you for like maybe, 48 hours. Sometimes they post you for the whole time and then like your post disappears. As much as that is cool, I don't like those kinds of quote unquote influencers, because it's not really like going to help me. Like, I'm glad it's going to be up there for 48 hours. But nowadays with these algorithms, people may not even see your post until like 3 days later. Like, I know from my Instagram timeline, I'll see posts from like 3 days ago from someone. And usually maybe because I don't, engage with them as much, or maybe I've not been engaging with them as recently. But what I am saying is, for some platforms they work, but for me, especially because I'm in a retail business, I really prefer for there to be platforms where the content stays up there and people can scroll by and see me, even, 20 days later, 21 days later, whatever. Okay, the last one is set aside a budget for influencers and social media promotion. So it's very important that as you grow your business, that in your marketing or public relations budget, that you actually set aside money eventually for influencers. Yes. I'm going to tell you why, okay? You have to study what successful companies are doing. What successful companies are doing they have money set aside for influencers to say, hey, we need to push this product to as many audiences that we cannot reach on our own. So we're going to pay these influencers to promote our product. Now, the ones that you pay usually should have a high engagement and a high community. But again, if you're making sure that they fit the audience that you're targeting, they will be worth the coins. So hopefully those were some like basics for influencers and working with influencers. Remember, when it comes to like what you actually send product, micro influencers, I send them free product, and then major influencers or bigger ones, it depends upon the relationship. There are some major influencers who are like, listen, just send me free stuff. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And guess what? You'll send them free stuff. So you just got to talk to them. But again, with FameBit, it's paid. So there's not, I've rarely seen myself working with a free influencer through FameBit, but a personal relationship, yes. And remember, I'm getting tired. Is that remember to have a relationship. In businesses, especially in retail, it's all about relationships. So, again, I'm always like when I'm finding people, I had a woman reach out to us. She started following us on She Taught Me on her Instagram. She has about 8,000 followers and she has a high engagement rate. Turned out to be a Spelmanite. Shout out to my Spelmanite. So turned out to be a Spelmanite. So I was really excited. So my team emailed me, we're like, listen, Genesis, we believe that we have a new micro influencer. I was like, okay, let me look at her stuff. So she's African American. She's actually done some previous influence, I guess you could say, content. And so she fits who we're targeting. Now, of course, you taught me for all races, but that's very important too. Oh my God, I have to add this. If you are for all races, your influencers need to be for all races. If you're for a particular race, I'm not saying like, races, but or even a particular gender or a particular age, make sure your influencers fit that, please. So if you're for like women who are 90 and up, your influencers should be 90 and up. If you're for little little girl influencers, like, you know, maybe you sell baby clothing, your influencers technically should be moms or babies, you know, so you need to make sure you fit your audience. Okay, guys. So anyway, I'm tired. I think I've given you guys enough basics to get started. If you have any questions, be sure to email me at info@JenesisDorsey.com. I only answer a little bit after that. You know, you got to pay for a coaching consultation with me. But guys, have fun. Be sure to, you know, start to get those lists up for influencers. You know, start watching some YouTube videos, start searching for things that fit your audience, and, you know, start gathering a list, start emailing these people and strike up a relationship with them. Say, hey, hello, my name is da-da-da. You know, have a great presentation for your business and say, we would love for you to be an influencer. You know, you can get them on the phone, ask them, you know, what they're looking to do, or just do it via email, or, you know, again, use FameBit or any of these other platforms. Reach out to them. Say, hey, I'm looking to do this. This is a campaign that we would like to bring to the table. Let us know how, you know, you would, you know, and again, what we do is we will pre-say what we need. Like, so we'll say, listen, this is a free campaign, so we're going to send you free gear. Let us know whether you're, you know, whether you're open to it or not. So when you're emailing these people, make sure you know up front, make sure you tell them up front. So it's not like, oh, well, you know, this is going to be an opportunity, and then you tell them later, oh, it's free. Let them know ahead from the jump so that they know what they're getting into. But again, for many people, getting free gear is like awesome. Like, you know, but then for some people, they have to get paid for it because now they've built a business out of it. So it's different. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys later. Hopefully you have fun watching and gain a lot of knowledge. Bye, guys. See you guys.